Why do boys wear ties? Okay, I have trouble with Upal's text because it's so hard. And I had to go back myself, and I'm going to take you back, but not too long, because I know you want to go forward. So look, this is where we are. We're in the mind-only explanation of how to meditate on emptiness. Her book is about how to meditate on emptiness. And I think it's significant that the first sentence here was, I already told you what's the mind-only's version of the no-self nature of people. Okay, I already told you, all right? And then I went back and tried to find where he already told us, because I don't remember he already told us. And then this is what he said. Okay. All he said was, the independent group on down, okay, say that the person is devoid of Zesadrupa, right? Rankatupa, substantial in the sense of being self-standing, okay? He didn't mention specifically in the mind-only school. He just said the lower middle way on down have the same idea about what it means to have no self-nature of a person. And so for him, that subject is finished. Okay? Just throw them in with everybody else. About people. But now about things, the no self-nature of things, that we have to talk about, okay? Chuki dogme, joksul ni nite. When we get to the how things don't have a self-nature, we got to talk about two different arguments, okay? One is ngo dan kepa la kunda bikunda rangitini to madrupa. The way we label the thing and its, where's the word in English?
It's characteristics? No.
But really it means its modifications. What the stages it goes through. The cup, the start of the cup, the staying of the cup, the ending of the cup is called its characteristics. How we call the cup and how we call its
Essential nature is what we
That's like aspect.
Oh, yeah.
you can say aspect, but I want to say it in time.
Oh.
Iterations.
No, there's a word in English.
Continuity.
It's manifestations, or it's the changes it goes through over time.
Stages? Phases?
Phases is pretty close, okay? Anyway, so the question is, when I see a thing, and when I see it exhibit stages of its development, the starting of it, the staying of it, the ending of it, which here is called characteristics, okay? is it coming this way or is it somehow being ascribed by me? Dakpa, here, BTAGS, okay? Kuntak, okay? What's the process by which I name things? Okay, what's the process by which I name things? And don't forget, we're not talking higher middle way, we're talking mind-only school. Is the way I identify things, how does that happen? How does it happen that I identify things? Okay? How does it happen that I call something a car? When I see the parts of a car, or I see the whole car, what's the process by which I identify it? Okay? That's the first big subject of the mind-only school's presentation of the no-self nature of things. Okay? Then the second part of how they describe the no-self nature of things is when they get into the subject of chidans. Do outer things exist or not? Okay, chidan, here, right here. Sukja, visible things, hearable things. Are they outer things or are they emptiness of being outer things? Okay, got it? These are the two great subjects of the mind-only school's presentation of the no-self nature of things. Good. So one is how to identify things, okay? How do I label things, okay? And then the other one is, do outer objects exist or not? Okay? These are the two great subjects of the mind-only school's presentation of the emptiness of things, okay? How do they come into the 6 flavors of emptiness that you learned long ago?
One is, the kuntak is the labeling, or things that are empty.
But how did we say it in the 6 flavors of emptiness? Kyo shepitani jupe jukshir rangi tseniki madrupa. Kyo shepitani jupe jukshir rangi.
Being by definition, having a name by definition.
Good. Empty of being what it's called. Empty of being called what it's called by definition. Arose by any other name would be this name. Okay? And what's the application of that? Is something like, is it?
Bad example.
Yeah. Okay? Names don't apply to things self-existently. Okay? I believe we said problems. You don't have to look at this as a problem. You can call it a problem, but maybe you could call it an opportunity. It's something like that. Okay? So in the 6 layers of emptiness, and later in Buddhism, it became Kyo shepe tani jupi jukshin rangi teniki madupa. Kyo shepe jukshi. It called what it is. Kyo shepe jukshir. That it is what it is called self-existently. Is it called what it is? Kyo shepe jukshir. Does it exist as what it's called? Rangi teniki drupa. In and of itself. Did it have to be called that? Okay, and then we finished the first of these 2. And we finished it in 3 parts. And you don't remember, but I spent like 2 hours trying to remember. What was that? Yeah, first one. And then he quoted Tekdu. He quoted a Sangha. Okay, he went to a Sangha. And he gave a nice verse from a Sangha. It starts out, where is it? There it is, yeah. Take 2. Yeah, it's called Mahayana Sangraha. Okay, Mahayana Sangraha. And Take This said, it gave 3 arguments, okay, why something didn't have to be called what it was. Ming ni ngaro lo me chir, mang we chir da mande chir, de dang ni da mang dang de galwe dupagyan. If something was called what it was called by definition, okay, kyo shepe jukshir rangi tseniki dupa, okay, yimba rangi tseniki dupa, then when you first saw a car, you would say car in your mind. the car would be saying car to you. You wouldn't have to ask your mom, what'd they call that? Okay, if the name was attached to the thing automatically, then the first time you saw it, you'd say, Kwa, that's a Kwa, Mom. Okay, if somehow the name was attached to the object, lo, laro, lo, you know, before someone taught you the name, you would think of it. You could think of it, okay? Oh, Mom, that's a car. Okay, if names were attached to cars automatically, okay? Okay. Then he had two arguments about things which have the same names, okay? Like Ishvara, he had three words for Ishvara, Chakra, and some other word for Chakra. So these are three different names for the same deity. But if the name attached to the deity automatically, then if there's three names, there got to be three deities. Three different deities. Okay? Got it? If there are three different names, then have to be three different deities. Okay? Then he went the opposite. Does anybody remember? He flipped it.
Two guys named Joe.
Yeah, if two guys are named Joe, then there'd be the same guy. There'd just be one guy. If names applied to their objects self-existently, then if they have one name, it'd always be one person, even if there's two guys with the same name. And if they applied to their objects self-existently, then if one thing were called by three different names, then there'd have to be three of them, okay? And you'd have to understand the name the moment you think of it, and no one would have to tell you their name, okay?
Yeah. You'd never have to have a vocabulary class.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to take Tibetan. Yeah, now, so Utpal is going to be happy to know that I'm moving on, okay? We went through the three arguments about names, and now we're ready to go on to what? The second subject that they're interested in, outer objects. Outer objects. So for him, pretty much the name thing is finished. And he's going to go on to outer objects pretty soon. Or did he already? Let me see. Anyway, a little bit more about, let me see. Hang on. I'm going to go back to Ona. It's a few lines above where we started. Yeah, we did start, okay? And I'm just going to review, okay? And then we're moving on. Ona data ki okay, I like all your three reasons, and I can understand now that things are not called what they're called by themselves, okay? But, but how am I supposed to grasp the fact that visible things, hearable things, etc., are empty of being outer objects? That they are not outer objects. How do you want me to understand that? Okay? I got your first point. I got your first mind-only emptiness. Things are not called what they're called automatically. I understand that. Okay? Now, let's move on to the second kind of emptiness that you mind-only guys like when you're describing the emptiness of things. You know, how are things not outer objects? What do you mean when you say things are not? When you say empty of being an outer object, which is your second kind of emptiness, what do you mean? Okay? New day. Yeah, you can do it. We said, how am I supposed to understand? We said, you can do it. New day. You can do it, don't worry. Shema tak patar sukso rangi rangzin tope shen shi rangi tsini ki dupa kek pa na de tse nawa tar shenbe tope de shen yu la tour dupla de dupe top ki de ra nawe wang shin nang kyang rangi nang yu la tour dup de dum na wang shin la ngumba soki number shower de chiru dingi dubi number ta sute in the shower ma yingi. This is so cool. I mean, finally I got it. And this is the sexy thing. I woke up at 4. I couldn't stop thinking about it. He says, it's brilliant. It's super brilliant. Chone Lama says, the two are connected. The two are connected. And I never heard anyone say that. I never heard anyone say that. You know, the fact that things don't have their names by themselves is why they're not outer objects.
Oh, okay.
I never heard anyone tie it together like that. And he has a logical progression. Okay, ready? You can understand that things are not outer objects. Why? Shematakpatar, as I just explained to you. Okay, matakpa means just. Just. As I just explained to you, kek means gak. It's a past tense. Once you have denied, once you have disproven that things can be the object of what the mind takes them to be automatically, meaning name, okay? Once you kek that, once you cancel that, kek. Okay, they'd say, then kek and dup come together, gak dup come together. In Adam's text, we're going to have a section called gak dup, negatives and positives, okay? If you denied this, and your text had a big one, that I believe it's the one where people could, no, your opponent proposed that he would prove why there's no scripture, that there's nothing that proves Buddha taught emptiness in the lower way, and there's proofs against it. You see what I mean? You go kick dupe. Okay? First of all, you can disprove the idea that the Buddha taught emptiness in the lower schools. And secondly, you can prove in many ways that he didn't. Got it? Okay? Kick dupe. You can disprove and you can prove. Okay? You can disprove that he did, and you can prove that he didn't. Your text. Okay? So kick dupe is a pattern. Okay? So if you disprove that things are called what they're called automatically, okay, then you automatically prove that the state of mind which thinks that about them is mistaken about its object.
Okay. But still doesn't prove there's no outer
He's not
object.
done yet. He's not done yet. No, he's making a step by step. Okay? Okay, so what you think is there, shenyu. Shenyu. This shenba means like shenba shidra, right? The four attachments. In Majjhima, in the study of perception, it means what you think you see, which is something that got its name by nature. This has to be called cappuccino. We cannot call it coffee. Sorry, tea. It has to be called coffee. This is not this. I didn't order this. This is tea. I wanted cappuccino. Cappuccino's cappuccino. This is tea. This has to be called cappuccino. You can't call this tea. This is the source of all friction among countries and people and wives and husbands. Okay, so once you understand that things are not called what they're called from their own side, then you understand that what you used to think about them was wrong. Okay, they drupa topki, and when you prove that, then the power of that proves something else. What? That implies that even sense consciousness are mistaken towards their objects. Okay? Alright? The fact that you're thinking the wrong way about things because you thought they had to be named coffee, okay, implies there's something screwy about your sense perceptions also.
Why?
There's something wrong with them. It infects. Now, munjuki wonky. Very, very cool in the mind only school. Do you remember? Remember Jupe wonky? Munjuk.
Engaging direct.
Big thing in mind only.
Oh,
Huge thing in mind only.
the three parts, the consciousness,
No.
The refrigerator.
What's jupa mean?
the energy.
Power.
To express.
Jupa means to expression, and what they say in the mind only school is that you've been using words wrong for so many lifetimes that you're stuck on it now. The wrong use of words is poisoned your mind. Number jupe wonky. You're used to it, even poison your sense perceptions. You talked about cups of coffee wrongly so many lifetimes that now you cannot even see a cup of coffee properly. Okay? Your mind is poisoned by billions of lifetimes of using the wrong language about things. You know? right? I, me, give to you, you, I. And we, me, get good karma. You see, that's how we should talk. Okay, got it? Our language is messed up. I, come on, who's I? You know, you can't be I Geshe-la if you don't give Stanley coffee. You're never going to get coffee. I didn't get coffee. Bullshit. You didn't give a coffee. Okay, got it? Language itself. Okay, got it? All right, so anyway, what he's saying here is that because you feel the wrong way about names, it has infected your sense consciousnesses also. Okay? You've been thinking about things wrong for so long. It affects, even you feel like, and this is the idea in the Wheel of Life teaching where every link is defective. Your instruments, right? We talked about it in Buddha. Your instruments are defective now. You can't see things straight. Okay? Your instruments were born of ignorance. Your eye consciousness is messed up. You know, that's why it's part of the Wheel of Life. The empty houses, Ngapakeche, link number 5. Okay? Your sense objects, your sense instruments are broken, cracked, bent, distorted. You can't even see things correctly, even if you wanted to. You can sit in the class all day and you go out there and you'll still see blue is coming from blue side. Because that's the nature of your eye. Because it was born of ignorance, okay? It's powerful. It's very powerful. So he says, just as your understanding of things, names, is messed up, that has messed up your your sense powers. You can't see straight. You can't hear straight. Every time you hear me talk, you think it's coming from me.
Yeah, right.
Okay, got it?
So you say your eye thinks the cup has its name by definition?
No, because your mind thought the cup had its name by definition, that has created circumstances that when you were reborn, your sense powers are faulty,
What
twisted.
are my sense powers doing? What's my eye?
They believe it's coming this, see, we're getting there.
Eye believes it's doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay? Dedumna, if you establish that your sense consciousnesses are messed up, wangshe lang nombo soki number shawa de, chiru dunki rangdari number tsurtene shawa mayinki. So when blue makes its appearance to your eye, okay? When blue makes its appearance to your eye, chiru dunki rangde number tsurtene shawa mayinki. It's not that outer object is sending you an extra image of itself, sur.
From its side.
Yeah, it's not like the cup is saying, oh, Geshe-la, here's what I look like. It's not that it's the whole science thing. This light of the sun's coming from the sun. You know, it looks like this is sending me pictures of a cup. You know, every moment. Oh, look, picture, hits my consciousness. Oh, look, cup. What's between? What's the medium? What happens between here and here? What's going on, you know? Is it like cloning another cup image and it goes boo, 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 and it hits your eye and you see a cup? Because that's what you think. Oh, picture. It's sending me. You feel like that. You really do. Oh, look, it's appearing to me as a cup. Look, I'm a cup. And you feel like it's sending you a picture to your eye. Your eye didn't touch it.
And the moon tunnels across the sky.
Something came across the medium, a medium. There's a distance, you see? And so you feel like, automatically because you believed it had its own name, you feel like it's sending images to your eye. He connects the two mind-only emptinesses together. It's brilliant. It's amazing. It's really amazing. These 3 sentences are extremely important for the mind-only school. Okay? Sogi Namasharadi. Chiro dun ki, okay? chiro dun ki. By the outer object, the cup, chiro dun ki, okay? By, down here, see? Chiro, outside object, dun object, right? Chiro, outside. Chiro dun ki, the outside object, the cup, te, directs, right? Tepa, sends you, like tawa. It sends you, sur, to your eye, a copy of itself, a clone of itself. Rang dai, number, an image of itself, a copy of itself. You feel like the cup is sending you pictures of itself. You see what I mean? You automatically feel that. You always felt that. Think about it, you know. What did you think was happening? I didn't touch it. Something went from there to here. Did it go from here to there, or did it come from here to there? You think it's coming this way. But how? Oh, Geshe-la, it makes little pictures every millisecond. It's an image that comes off and goes here, and then another image comes off and goes here. You feel like that. That's how you feel about it. Why? Because your consciousness, your sense consciousness are messed up. Why? Because you spent billions of years thinking it was called itself. Okay? That is, oh, it's very quiet in here. Sit with it. It's brilliant.
Right?
It's really brilliant. Yeah. Sharwa Mayin, but that's not what's happening. It's not appearing this way. Okay? It's not sending messages to your eye the way you always thought, you know, okay? It's not. What do you think was happening between here and there in the past? It was sending you pictures. And they touched your eye. And then the eye reacted, right? Scientists say the cones and rods, digital, you know, some on, some off, and then you see an outline. Because why? Because images were thrown off of it and touched your rods and cones. Science says that. Science says that. This is exactly what science is. And then he says, Mayan. That ain't what's happening. Key. Well, what is happening? Now we're ready to start a class. Rang nang kenki wang she nam. Also, de dan de dang ni de kia pa tok pe. Rang nang kenki wang she. Okay, ready? Rang nang kenki wang she. The sense consciousness which is appearing as a cup. Okay? Rang means cup. Nang ken, the one which is appearing as it. Meaning your sense consciousness. Okay? The visual consciousness which is appearing as a cup, which now takes on cup aspect. Okay? Rang nang nam shen nam. Also, at some point, you will understand that your sense consciousness is taking on an aspect of cupness. Okay? Your sense consciousness has taken on a cupness. Cupness, the cup projected a picture, it came to your consciousness, and the consciousness took on the aspect of cup. It's one of the tsungdeng nga.
The ways that the
Five
mind
links.
Yeah, it's the appearance, right? It's the aspect. It took on, in the Yoga Sutra,
A crystal, a ruby,
yeah, putting a
piece of paper.
yeah, putting a ruby on a white piece of paper, and then the paper looks red. Okay, got it?
glasses.
It's infected, right? Once you understand that it's really your sense consciousness is taking on the aspect of the object, okay? You therefore establish that the blue is of one substance with the sense consciousness, which is the mind-only school's refutation of outer objects.
Could you say that one more time?
Yeah. Your eye consciousness takes on an aspect of blue, right? Or brown, right? That's how you see. But that's not happening from the outside, it's happening from the inside, from seeds in your foundation consciousness. Okay? The cup and your perception of the cup are the same stuff. Okay? Same stuff. You're not seeing a cup out there. You're seeing a part of your mind.
So this is the one that's the...
Yeah,
ends up
well,
there.
it ends up there.
Yeah.
You're watching part of your mind.
Yeah.
Because of all the steps I just took you through. It's not that little pictures are coming off the cup. There's a mental karma. There's a seed in your mind. Cups coming out of there. And you're watching your own mind. There was never any outer objects. Why? Because you named them yourself and they didn't have their own names. Got it? You okay? It's very cool. Nobody can deny, even in the old way, science would still say the image peels off the cup, the image comes to your rods and cones, the rods and cones react to the color.
I don't think they say
Well, they
that.
say that
Come on.
light bounces
They don't
off
say
it. I mean,
that.
Okay, light bounces off
the
it.
photons are...
Yeah,
The
yeah.
image is the same. No, it's not.
And then, but what happens the moment after that?
It's just a part.
But what happens the moment after that? The moment after that, you can close your eyes and you can say, I saw a cup. And you have a cup in your mind. You see? Then you're looking at a cup in your mind. And the mind-only school says, that's how it always was anyway.
Like if you stare at a light and shut your eyes, you can still see the light.
Not so much like
Well, no, I
that.
mean,
Well,
it's
but-
the same.
Look at the cup, then close your eyes, and at that point, the cup is part of your visual consciousness.
When you're
it's
remembering,
now-
it's part of your visual...
It's now an image in the glass.
But isn't that the difference between a visual consciousness and like a yi like just a mental consciousness, because it's a memory of...
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying,
An image appears.
you're looking at an image reflected in the crystal of your sense consciousnesses. The crystal of your sense consciousness took on an image, but it didn't come from getting hit by an image from the outside. It came much more simply from seeds in your own mind ripening inside the sense consciousness crystal.
I mean, I don't mind that he's saying that, but is he saying that that's established by the fact that?
Things don't have their own names.
Yeah.
He wants to
how's
tie it to that.
Right, but I don't. It's not a proof yet. I mean.
I don't know. I think it's pretty sexy. Think about it. Read those 3 sentences. He doesn't go directly, he goes through steps, right? You want to do them again?
Yeah.
I know you want to do them again. I don't want to do them again, but anyway. Okay.
3 times at least.
Nute. Okay, here we go. Nute. This is an answer to our question. How? Okay, I got your point about names, but how am I supposed to understand the outer, no outer object thing? And he says, look, you can. I'll take you there. Shema Takma. I just told you, as I just explained to you, Suk So Ranzing To Bishen Shi Rangi Tseniki Duba Kek. It's not true that things exist in the way that the ideas that you have in your mind about name them from your mind, because your mind thinks they're named from their own side. This has to be called coffee. This has to be called good or bad. Okay? You think that. Okay? Now we just canceled that thing about names 3 different ways. You would have known the name before you knew it. 2 things with the same, different, one thing with different names would have been multiple things.
Right, and the opposite.
And yeah, and 2 guys with the same name would have been 1 guy. I just told you that. Okay? So that cancels the idea that you used to have that things exist the way you thought about how you perceive things, how you name things, how you label things. Okay? They say nawata shen be tobe de shen yula tujuba. So you understand that the way you thought about them before was mistaken. Got it? They do bitoki, and once you establish that, then the sense consciousness that also make assumptions about what things are called.
That's pretty tough. That's the sense consciousness says too.
Okay. The feeling that blue is blue,
Okay.
even to sense consciousness, kyang, rangi nayula true or dupe, we can establish that they are mistaken towards what they think they see. Even the sense consciousness, okay? Because of how it feels about it.
Consciousness.
How you feel about blue. Why don't we put it that way?
Well, not the eye, but the sense of awareness. The awareness.
Based on the
eye.
sense power.
Are you saying the sense consciousness or the sense?
Well, he says sense consciousness.
Does
Wang
this have
Shen.
something to do with, like, somehow related to the fact that a Buddha, with all his senses, experiences all different?
Well, that gets complicated.
I mean, that
The mind-only school would probably say that proves that it's coming from you. That proves it's part of your mind. Okay. By the way, it's going to get more complicated. Okay. Day dub na wang shen lungumbo so number shawa day. And when you establish that, then when blue appears to the sense consciousness, chiro dun ki rangde number tsurtene, it's not the case that the cup is sending pictures to the consciousness. Okay? It's not the case. Well, what's going on? Your sense consciousness has taken on an aspect of blue. Okay? And that establishes that your sense consciousness and the blue itself are the same stuff. And it was never an outside object.
But it doesn't prove that this object does.
You're right.
Doesn't prove what?
It doesn't prove that outer object doesn't exist.
He's right.
As an outer object, it doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't prove. We can't jump from this to.
Right.
We can
It's appearing, the only place it's coming from is your mind.
well, but
Right.
it doesn't prove that there is nothing.
It,
there.
it grew inside your sense consciousness.
Right.
Before it was outside.
But that's what he didn't establish yet.
I think he did establish it.
He didn't say where it came from. He
Well,
just
let's
said, "Look,
see.
Your mind is blue.
He says Zeichik to Drupo.
Is the crystal?
It has been established.
No.
Past tense. Drup,
What
drup.
is-
He's
it
saying
meaning
your mind
what?
is blue, but he's not saying that there's something
It
out
meaning
there
what?
that's making it blue.
Yeah. Like the crystal is blue. Okay, is it because it was near your mind or because it was near the thing outside? He didn't
There's
say.
nothing outside.
But he didn't say that. per
He didn't
se.
say that per se.
Well, sit with
Fair
it.
enough.
Sit with it.
Yeah.
Read it a couple times. Okay? Let's go on. Because he goes one more step. He goes one more step. Maybe it'll help. Probably not. Daydreamna, if you establish that, then moso ranang vishepa le zeta deki tombar drup. It is established that the blue and the sense consciousness which appears as blue are empty of being separate substances, which in the mind-only school means,
That they're the same. That they're the same, coming from the same seed.
yeah, empty of
In the-
coming from different seeds. Okay.
empty of-
Therefore, chiroki dun merpa kongdu chupa gyowa. Anyone could grasp kongdu chu. Anyone would come to the conclusion that there don't exist outer objects. Kongdu chu. You can get it. He says you can get it. Kongdu chu means get it. Okay? You can get it. Gyur, you will. Future tense.
Why is he shouting Lama?
Let's keep going, and then if you want, we'll come back. But your text is going kind of slow already. All right. By the way, I think that last page is epic. Like very important for words text, for example.
So I would just say, don't read my translation from term 4, because I need to totally redo that.
Yeah, well, that's why we're not translating them into Chinese until we finish the book. Because you get another quarter way through and you say, oh, everything was wrong. You know? At the end, there's no more reason to say everything's wrong, even if it's wrong. Okay.
I got the words in there, but they're all jumbled.
Okay, please read. Please read. Shenyang.
Shenyang, Wang She La Te Pe, Shi Dang Go Bala, Chi Ro Di Dun She Ba De Chikabu Shena.
Okay, good. Shenyang. Now he's kind of shifting gears. Shenyang means I'm going to go at it a different way. Maybe it'll help you, okay? But that last exchange is very, very important. And let's do it again if you want next time we meet, okay? Let it cook for a while. Shenyang, moreover, Wang She La Tepe Chidun Gopala. If we're going to deny Gokpa, outer objects, Chidun, relative to our sense consciousnesses, this is the LTOS that comes in Sugang's text as Tadrup, means dependent, okay? It's the definition of dependent origination, Tadrup. This tu means to rely on, okay? LTOS. It's very similar to words for seeing, so be careful. And it probably relates to them, okay? So, Wangshi Letepe Chidun Gopa, relative to our sense consciousness, if we are denying outer objects with reference to the inner sense consciousness, you see, that they are separate. Okay? Here's sense consciousness in half an inch inside here, and there's outer objects over there. If relative to that insideness thing, we are denying the outsideness thing, okay? Then can you say a little bit more about what you mean when you say outer object? You know, can you say a little bit more about what's it mean when we say outer object, okay? This is we're asking the writer, can you like say more about this outer object thing? Because, you know, so far you just defined it kind of as opposed to the inner sense consciousness, okay? Can you say a little bit more? Okay, ready? Hello? Okay. Dela Toma Dunma Deni, please read.
Ila Tokmar Dunma De Ni, He Chidan De Su Chung Se Ju Bar Jade.
Okay, you want to know more about outer objects, okay? What people think about outer objects? Togmar, let's start with, Togma, let's start with Dunma Deni, Dunma.
Let's start with the
The two sound and
The object talkers. The object talkers. It means Chiro Dunmawa.
yeah, those who claim outer objects.
Yeah, the two schools that like the idea of outer
By
objects.
Bolsheviks and such. Right?
Yeah, good. The two Hinayana schools. Let's talk about what they think is an outer object. And that'll help us understand about outer objects, okay? Got it? So, Dunma means Chiro Dundamawa. Okay? Those who claim there are outer objects, those two groups, by them, let's talk a little Chungse. Chungse means just a bit. Let's talk Ju. We had that Ju in Ngumba Jupa. Express. Let's talk a little about what they believe, how they believe, too, outer objects exist. Okay? Let's talk about how they describe outer objects. Okay? Got it? Because they're the two schools that we, the mind-only school, are denying.
Refusing.
Okay? Don't forget, we're only up to the third school. What's your hat right now? Yeah, I'm a mind-only hat. Okay? All right. Chir de ni ki sung de be ke la su gyang che ki tsu de na wa tar tu be chi de ni che de la. Okay. The crucial word here is, how am I doing on time, by the way?
You
Oh,
have
you
9
have
minutes.
9.
9 minutes? Okay. Gyang means to a distance.
to distance.
To a distance, yeah. Gyang ring means distant, like you're looking at something to a telescope. It's gyang. Gyang che means bridges the, cuts the distance. Okay, gyang che. So they believe that a person, kibu, who's grasping blue or cup or whatever, okay, they believe there's some separation. The distance is they are separated. I'm sorry, Gyangche should be you are at a distance. Gyangche.
Not cup.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I take it back. Gyangche means they believe there's a way in which the object jumps the distance.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, the object bridges the
Yeah.
distance to.
Suldu, right? Somehow, Sugyangche Kitsuldu, you're gonna shrink the distance when you perceive something. Okay? Somehow that distance is gonna be closed. The gap is gonna be closed.
Okay.
Okay?
That's what they believe.
But Gyangche means it exists at a distance. I'm here, it's there, therefore it's outer. Their description of outer is it's out there. It's out there. You can say out there for Gyangche, how's that? It's out there. Got it? It's to a distance, it's separated by a distance, how's that? Okay? Gyangche Kitsuldu Nawatar Drupa. It appears to exist at a distance, and that's what Chidun means for them. Okay? It's at some distance from me. So it's an outer object. That's how they describe an outer object. Okay? It's at a distance from me. So it's outer. It's over there. I'm over here. It's outer. Okay?
Yep.
That's pretty simple, right? So when you suk here, you can say coffee cup, okay? Visible thing. You know, when a person is perceiving a coffee cup, then they perceive it to exist at a distance, and therefore they call it an outer object. They say there do exist outer objects. Things that exist far away from me. Therefore it's outer. Kepa Chera Mawe, and more particularly, the detailists say, now there's this idiom for how the Vaibhashikas think it happens, okay? And it's nasty. Namme tukte, say namme tukte. It occurs 23 times in 1,000,000 pages. It's a difficult idea, okay? Namme tukte does mean there's contact through a medium. Namme means without a medium, there's contact. Somehow there's contact between my sense power and the cup that cuts across the medium. Tukte means contact, makes contact. Tuk means to make contact. Tukchun means I met him yesterday. We hooked up. Tukte means also to touch, to make contact. So tukte means touch. Namme means without a medium.
Okay.
Now that's whose school?
Vaibhashikas.
Now I'm just going to anticipate your confusion, okay? Which I spent, look how many pages of notes I had on this. Okay? That's how much I got. It took me that much to learn this idea. And where it comes up is in the discussion of if, as the Vaibhashikas say, there's some kind of magic bridging across the medium, if there's a contact of my eye with that cup, somehow, some kind of magic bridging, then shouldn't it be the case that if something's a meter away or something's 100 meters away, I should be able to see them the same?
It's a good point.
Actually, that's how people fight the Vaibhashika. They want to say there's some kind of magic, no medium, mediumless, tugme, right? Namme, mediumless contact of the coffee cup with the eye. And then their opponents say, well then, you should be able to see a cup 100 meters away as well as you see a cup 10 inches away. If that's the way contact is made between a cup and your sense power, if it's some kind of magic bridging of the distance between, then you should be able to see it as well. And they have a very interesting answer. And it's kind of cool. And they say, yeah, but my karmic seeds are not as good for the thing far away. Which is a very higher school answer. And they, And by the way, his text, what's one of the 8 differences of the two Madhyamika schools?
Well,
What's one of the features of Prasangika? Chiro dunya.
oh, there are outer objects.
They go back to saying there are other objects.
Because that's
Higher than mind only. Mind only says no other objects. They're supposed to be smarter than the Vaibhajika and the sutras. And they say, we establish no other objects. Then Madhyamika, higher Madhyamika says, nope, there are. And the Vaibhajika's got it pretty good. It is seen. They're not, see, it's a very rare case where the up 4B school is saying one school's got it right. Number 3. It's very cool. You get Madhyamika Prasangika defending the Abhidhamma school, which is only going to happen once or twice. Cool? Okay, so.
Geshe-la, the word you're translating from medium, nam, is that
Yeah,
nam?
I woke up at 3:30 and decided that was medium.
'Cause it's
I looked up I studied every single occurrence of it in the uncatalogued data also.
wow,
And it's,
Sorry to hear that.
there's nobody explained it.
right.
Nobody.
It's not
So,
it's not that.
but I'm inferring from that argument. I'm inferring from that argument. The people who said, well, if it's that way, then things at a distance should be as clear as things nearby. So I take it to be no medium. You see? There's contact across the medium. There's no namba. Literally, namba means it doesn't have to appear to you. It doesn't have to send appearances to you. There's some kind of magic contact between your sense power and the cup. It just goes, and it's not like it bridges the medium or something like that. Okay, there's no aspect of a cup being sent out to your eye consciousness.
Got it. Yeah.
The mind-only school would say, yeah, duh, because it's born inside your eye consciousness. Okay? This image came up inside your eye consciousness.
It's time.
Think of your eye consciousness as glass, as made of glass, and think of the image as just forming inside the glass, you see? A picture of something forming inside the glass. And that's the mind-only school. Okay? But I encourage you, even if you don't buy it today,
Why are you looking at me, boss?
see, so somebody of the stature of Choni Lama has said, this worldview derives from the other worldview. Somehow, the fact that things aren't called what they're called by themselves relates to the fact that outer objects don't exist. Somehow they're connected. Because I've never heard anyone say it. But logically, there must be a connection somewhere. It's a single school. You know, one school has 2 ways of describing the no self-existence of
Okay.
things. And there must be a connection between the 2 ways they describe it. So, you know, if his 3 or 4 part progression between the 2 kinds of emptiness is true, it's landmark. It's very important. Okay? For understanding the mind-only school. Then it's not just 2 unrelated ideas of the mind-only school, which doesn't make much sense. You see what I mean?
Right.
He says they flow from one to the other. You know, we can say we don't understand yet how exactly, but it's the fact that he thinks they do is kind of sexy. Okay?
Cool.
And that's from your text.
Good luck.
And by the way, his text is, his is going to get really hot. And it's going to go here also. What are the 3 things focused on in the foundation consciousness? What does foundation consciousness focus on? 3 things.
The objects,
Object, blue.
the senses,
Yeah, sense consciousness, holding blue.
and those 2 nasty kind of seeds.
Yeah,
which are
and the
only
2
naturally-
seeds for misunderstanding what they see. Which doesn't mean they look at those seeds, it means those seeds infect it, and it thinks that the blue is outside. And that's the definition of foundation consciousness. And one of your 8 features of your school in your appendix is
There is no foundation.
Kunshi me.
Yeah, there is no
Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah. And Rangrik
There is no apperception.
me. Yeah. Two of the great 8 features of the Prasangika.
Right.
We don't bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Foundation
Mind doesn't
consciousness
focus
is
on
bullshit. The whole
itself.
thing is bullshit. Nothing is true about it.
Yeah.
That's his school. Forget it. Let's go back to Abhidharma. Outer object. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
That's Nagarjuna.
Yeah.
And that's Nagarjuna. Yeah. The Vaibhashika had it right. By the way, I mean, technically, they don't have it quite right. They just generally agree that there's outer objects, but not for the same reason. Okay? I'll give you a challenge. It's coming up in your text. Does that mean the blue is not physical in the mind-only school? I'll throw that out to you. Because Choni Lama accuses other mind-only people of misunderstanding this point. Is the blue physical?
It would seem not with what we've said so far.
Maybe that's where they got the name mind.
That's the common belief of why they're called mind-only. Choni Lama objects to it.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Sashi.
Boogie Dushi Metotam Vira Minshin Yende Genpadi Sangye Shindu Mideo Vargi Drokunanda Shinga Chipasho Iranguru Radna Mandala Kamya Dayami Dikewokun Sunam Yeshe Tsotso Shin Sunam Yeshe Lechuwe Gampa Kuni Topasho Shimogi Gogi. Am I downstairs now?
No, you have another class.
Alice
Miss
is-
One more
Allen.
class here.
Yeah.
Oh, hers is hard. Can you ask that when I do go downstairs that I can project my computer?
Sure. I
Okay.
will make that.